Good morning and welcome back to my next in-session video. Now you join me, it's the last weekend of January and I am at a very fresh and frosty Woodside Lakes. Now I'm not fishing the Specimen Lake as I did a month or so just before Christmas. I have come down to fish Alder Pool. Now this is another one of the lakes on the 3 lakes that reside on this complex. Alder Pool I have fished before, just before it was opened for a bit of a test session, and then again maybe 6 months or so later. So I haven't actually fished this lake for nearly 2 years, close to 2 years now. I had a look back on my channel and the videos, and yeah, 2 years ago I uploaded my last video from this lake. Now there's a bit of a sort of funny story that goes with this one. If you've watched any of my Woodside videos before, especially over on Specimen Lake, the last 2 years, so December just gone and the December before, Rich the owner has come round, we've had a chat as we do, good catch up, and we've talked about some specific fish. So fish that haven't come out for a while, and more importantly fish that would potentially go over the £30 mark. Now on the first session, so the first session of the 2, not last year, year before, I went and caught one of those very fish, the Immaculate Common. Yeah, that went over £30. And then, as I say, the December just gone, I went and caught another £30 common, which I believe is something along the lines of the big common, something like that, but one that Rich said would potentially go £30 as well. So over the last 2 sessions, over the last 2 years, we have managed to talk 2 £30 commons onto the bank. Now he tells me in conversation that there are 2 commons in here that should go £30 plus again. So you know what, I had a weekend at my disposal, which was because the Essex Carp show got cancelled, which I was meant to be working with deeper, so that's been moved to next weekend. Alder Pool was free, I'm in peg 2, this is my swim for my session, and I have come down to try my luck at catching one of these 2 commons that go over £30. So we're going to try and talk them on to the bank like we did the last 2 sessions. So come with me on this session, see how we get on, and see if we are jammy enough to put another one of those fish on the mat. But essentially this lake has 2 swims, I've got one of them, you get pretty much half of the lake to yourself. We've got plenty of water to go at, it's really up close and personal. There's a little bit of weed knocking around, so it's going to be a case of dropping some baits with the bushwhacker, finding some spots with the deeper, sitting on my hands and hope that yeah, I can manage to winkle one out for the camera over the course of the next 24-36 hours. So I've got a bit of time on my hands, not rushing, want to get everything bang on. So let's get some of that out, let's get some rods sorted, and yeah, find a few spots and let's get fishing. Well, the rods are finally out. Now what have I done? So because I've got half the lake to myself, I kind of split it down into sort of 3 sections basically. The boundaries are clearly sort of highlighted on the little signs dotted around the lake, so I know exactly my cut-off point before I start encroaching on peg 1's water. So yeah, what have I done? Left hand rod has gone down into this corner bay. Now I know from running the deeper over it in the past, it's 3 foot deeper down there than it is up in Peg number 1 swim. So that's pushing nearly 8 foot, 7.8, 7.9 down there. So I've got a single rod down there, bushwhacker down. Didn't do any filming of that because, one, you probably don't want to watch me push a bushwhacker out for minutes on end trying to talk, and yeah, keep an eye on the line coming off the reel and making sure everything's you know, good to go out once was yeah, would have been a bit of a mission, so I didn't bother recording none of that. But yeah, it's gone straight out down into this corner, 7.8 foot of water. Middle rod has gone over to the opposite bank. Now, from fishing here or just sort of watching the fish in here, they do like to patrol that back bank really tight in the summer. Maybe not so much now with yeah, temperatures well under 10 degrees today. So what I've done is come off of it by a good couple of rod lengths, 2-3 rod lengths, and I found basically where the sort of drop off of that sort of marginal area over there is. So it goes right up to sort of 4-3 foot. When you walk around there in the summer, you know, you can see the bottom when it's really, really clear. So what I've done is just found that drop off, and I'm just fishing right at the bottom of it really. It's around 5 foot of water, like I say, before it starts to shelf up onto that opposite margin. Now I know they like to sneak in from sort of down from the back of that island and come sort of right round here from watching them previously. So yeah, I'm covering that sort of back bank with my middle rod. Now last but not least, right hander. That has gone down quite short actually. I don't know, 20 yards tops, if that, 15-20 yards, really close in. Now I didn't realise, because I've not actually fished this side of the lake before, that the island here actually comes out sort of quite far and really shallow. I was quite surprised because initially I pushed it deeper up into the sort of channel area, and yeah, it was saying like 2-3 foot, which yeah, just isn't a bit of me in these cooler conditions. So what I went and done is basically dropped it in short. It's the shortest rod of the 3. And if there is anything moving this side of the island, then there's a nice little trap there as well, solid bag of maggots, to hopefully catch their attention. So yeah, that's the shortest of all 3 rods, in a nice sort of 5 foot 2, 5 foot 3 spot, again where the island drops down underneath the surface on that flat bottom, right sort of tucked in. So literally the second it drops down and it hits that flat ground, that's where that rod has gone. So yeah, that is 3 rods out fishing. Didn't rush, took my time to find these areas, and yeah, let's hope it gives me a little reward through the course of this session. So been a bit of a long morning. Let's get that kettle on, get a coffee down my neck, sit back, and yeah, just sit back and watch the water. Well, as the rods are out and I'm started to get settled for the rest of the session, I thought I'd just show you a few new bits that I've got my hands on recently. So for this session and all my sessions going forward, my new home is going to be the Extractor bivvy. Now that sort of style of bivvy is new to me. It went up like a dream. Not only that, you know, I've zipped in the front on it as well. Stuck the vapor peak on there, and absolutely rock solid. Really looking forward to using that. It's actually quite spacious inside considering how little it looks, and if you know me, I like to remain mobile. You know, I don't like to take loads of kit with me, so it packs down into that nice little bag down there as well. Went up really quickly. I'm sure it'll come down just as quick as well. But as we're in sort of like winter, late January, I've stuck, like I say, stuck the vapor peak on there as well, just to help with the warmth retention and keeping the condensation down, etc. Haven't bothered with the ground sheet. It's not too bad on this chipped wood on the floor, but you also get a ground sheet in there. Like I say, you get the full zip-in door, which is rolled up, and not only that, you get storm poles and a clear front as well. So you know, if it's lashing down with rain, you still want to watch out over the water, you can just zip in that clear front, and you can still watch out over the water. So you get that all as part of the package. So I'm really looking forward to using that over this year. It will be put through its paces, don't you worry. Overnighters, longer sessions, 24, 48, you know how it is. All of the adventures, that will be coming with me along the way. Now, not only that, I also got my hands on a new sleeping bag, which was long overdue. So that is the SK Tech Sonic sleeping bag, and yeah, that's all fleece lined inside, and yeah, my god, I'm looking forward to getting into that tonight. My old one, yeah, seen the end of its days, to be honest. So that went out into the bin. That was all just ripped and torn and well used and abused. So SK Tech sleeping bag there as well. I'll give you my verdict on that tomorrow morning. And not only that, you may have noticed as well that I've got my hands on some new alarms. Let me see if I can come around the other side. I've got myself the Gizmo 2 alarms, so their first outing as well, hopefully throughout the year. They will be singing and dancing along the way, hopefully. So yeah, again, new set of alarms for me. These are the Gizmo 2s that have been out a little while from Sonic. Absolutely packed full of features. You also get a receiver with them as well. So what I'll do is obviously use these for the next few months, and throughout the year I'll be bringing you some sort of, you know, up close similar type videos with all these products that I've got my hands on to give you my honest opinion. Quarter past 4, and I have just freshened up the rods again. So stuck to the same 3 spots, another solid bag over the top, another serving of maggots, and I think that will be that going into dark, and we will yeah, we'll wait and see what happens when yeah, dark sets in. My last 2 sessions over on the Spessy Lake led me to a catch on both occasions, an hour or so into dark. So who knows, one of those 3 rods may just go off as the evening draws on. But the sun is just starting to set over the back of me there. Home, as I said earlier, is all set up. And yeah, we're just ready to sort of see what happens through the night, really. I've seen nothing all day. I've watched the water like a hawk. We've had a bit of a breeze blowing from sort of right to left down into that bay. It's a bit on the chilly side, in all honesty, if you can tell by my nose and cheeks. It's been a bit fresh, but that's died right off now, which was good timing for freshening up the rods. It made using the bushwhacker a lot easier to slide those 3 solid bags out. So yeah, unfortunately nothing to report at the moment, but we've got more than enough time to work at it, stick at it, keep my eyes peeled for anything that occurs, and then yeah, if I need to move one of the rods, I can. The guys just down the bank, one couple are departing, another couple of anglers are just turning up, so I've got some company down there as well, which is good, because, you know, if there are any fish up there, they're just going to get bounced from sort of my swim to their swim, so they're not just going to be stacked up there, possibly, you know, with no lines in the water, keeping themselves to themselves. So it's good that there's a little bit of pressure up there with anything between 4 and 6 rods. So let's leave it there. Let's get another brew on the go, sit back, take in this evening, and see what occurs. Really, can't really do anything more than that. Well, in true Woodside fashion, it looks a lot brighter on camera than it actually is. The light is just starting to fade, and we've got one. The middle rod that went over to the opposite bank, just off of where it dips down and sort of meets the level ground, right hand rod has gone rattling off. Bit of a strange take, bit of a sort of up and down jolty take there. And it was a bit weird because obviously I'm not used to the alarms either, so it took me 5 seconds to register that was actually my alarms going off as well. So yeah, nice dogged little battle underneath the rod tips. And funnily enough, Rich had come down at that very moment in time and come to see how I was getting on. I said to him that, you know, nothing had been happening, haven't seen anything all day. He steps into my swim for what, 2 minutes, and the rod goes rattling off. So I think I just need to clone him and take him with me everywhere I go fishing wise, because it seems every time he comes down or talks to me about catching, it just seems to happen. So let's get the mat and that sorted, slip the waders on so I don't get wet before dark, and yeah, we will have a look at it. But get in, what a result. Right, well, I've had him in the sling and up on the scales, and he has gone 22.5 pound. He's not behaving at all. Great little scrap underneath the rod tip, but he is not behaving, so I'm going to quickly try and get him up. But look at that one, 22.5 pound, solid bags, maggots over the top, and just into dark, we've got our first Alder Pool fish for this session. So yeah, well happy with that. What a bruiser of a fish, mega clean condition, just what you expect really from Woodside, and he is absolutely freezing. See if I can swing him around and show you the other side. But he is a beautiful fish, sporting his winter colours. But yeah, just look at this one. There we go. Look at that one. What a mega fish. See if he's going to let me get some pictures quickly. We will slip him back and get that rod straight back out. Right, so as I said, it's now dark. I had that fish just before dark. I want to get the rod back out. Now, as you can see on my bushwhacker, I don't have the conventional Chirp Plus 2 cover on there, the lid, sandy type colour. I've swapped it for the orange night cover. Now, when I'm shipping this out in the dark, I've got my horizon marker, and what I can also do is on the app itself, if you go into the settings and then scroll down to night fishing and just turn that on, toggle that on, so night fishing on or off, turn that on, and then if I flick my head torch off, you will see that the night cover now blinks. Now what that will allow me to do is, when I'm shipping it out, is allow me to put that straight back into the spot where I had that fish from just now. Like I say, once I've lined up the glow of the night cover with my horizon marker, I know that I am fishing absolutely bang on. So I can use the app to find the depth and the spot. I know exactly that it's in the right line based on my horizon marker that I found. And then it's all a case of just tipping the spoon, dropping the bag and its contents exactly where I want it. So for the sake of a tenner, get yourself a night cover, activate the night setting in the app, and yeah, you'll be able to cast this out, stick it on your baiting spoon, stick it on your bait boat, and you'll know exactly where that deeper is going. For a tenner, for an accessory, it comes in super handy when trying to stick your rods or stick your rod back out onto the spot, like I say, especially when you're using a baiting spoon.
I've taken the deeper off the bait and spoon for the night, because if it rains, you know, if there's any heavy sort of mist or frost or anything like that, it can easily turn this back on and drain the battery. So the two little points at the bottom there, when they become wet, they basically turn on the deeper. And I've seen it so many times on social media. Oh, my battery's drained, I fully charged it up, I got an hour out of it. It's because people are putting it away wet. If these two little points on the bottom go back into your rucksack or stay wet throughout the course of your session, then yeah, this will remain on and the battery will diminish, and you won't get any further use out of it until you charge it back up. So at night time, I always take it off the baiting pole and just dry it off. So you just rub it on your hoodie, your trousers, whatever, and yeah, that needs to be bone dry, and that will preserve your battery life. So yeah, a little tip there, make sure you dry those two little points off completely so they are bone dry, and that will ensure your deeper lasts throughout your session.
So good morning, and what a beautiful morning it is turning out to be on the scenic front anyway, not so much on the fish front. Really quiet night, not a single beep in all honesty, but yeah, I was happy with going to bed with that one 22.5 pounder under my belt. But yeah, I've just been kind of waking up to the world, watching this beautiful sunrise start to appear over the back there of those trees. It's beautiful. Yesterday I rushed around before I even got set up to send the drone up and try and get some footage, but yeah, winter sunrises, you know, on the right day are the most beautifulest thing you'll experience if you're out on the bank. The colours, everything, you know, and it's part of the reason why I like being out on the bank as well, is just because of the, you know, the colours and the everything else that comes with it that you get to witness being out in the fresh air and on the bank. So yeah, it is, what's the time, 7:30, so probably been up a good hour and a half. Had a coffee, got the camera gear and stuff sorted, got the drone sorted. I'd love to send that up and get some more aerial footage. But yeah, unfortunately, quiet night on the fish front. So I think what I'll do is just give it another hour or so. Wait for that sunrise to come up. Freshen up the rods. Stick out 3 fresh solid bags. A couple more scoops of maggots, and just see what happens throughout the day. Now, I've not got a certain time. Well, I need to be off by 7 p.m. as per the ticket, but I've not got a certain time that I need to leave today. So if I feel like something's going to happen, then yeah, I'll stay put. If I feel like I've got my reward yesterday, then I'll pack up and disappear. But for the moment, I'm going to flick the kettle back on, watch that stunning sunrise, keep my eyes over the water, see if anything gives itself away, although I didn't see a single thing yesterday. And yeah, hope that we can turn one bite into 2. Well, just coming up to 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and as you can see, I have made a slow, organised pack down, but I left the bed chair out because it is an absolute beautiful day. It's so nice. If it wasn't like the last weekend of January, with the warmth coming off that sun and that little breeze just trickling in right to left,
I would say it's late March, early April. You know, it's got spring feeling written all over it. It's really, really warm. It's toasty, and it's just pleasant to be out. So I made the decision. I'm going to sit in this swim. I'm going to sit it out until dark. As I had that bite yesterday, just going into dark. Last session, just before in December, had a bite an hour into dark, and a year ago before that, hour into dark. So I've made the decision. Sit on my hands. I'll redo the rods in the next hour, ready for when darkness starts to fall, that sun starts to dip, and yeah, I'm going to keep everything crossed that I can nick one more for the vlog before I decide to wrap it up. Another fish did come out up in peg 1 this morning, right before the guys decided to wrap their session up. A little 12.5 pound common, little pretty one. So they're on the move, and not only that, the middle rod, which I had the fish off yesterday evening, I had a liner on that about 90 minutes or so ago. So they're definitely on the move. I've done a whole lap of the lake as well with the Polaroids, looking in the margins, because they shallow up right into the margins around the edge of this lake. The water's quite clear at the moment as well. And I was just looking to see if any of the fish, you know, just sat in a foot or two of water, just getting the sun on their backs, because obviously up and around the edges there, it's just sheltered from this little breeze, and it is actually really, really warm. But yeah, I didn't see a single thing. So yeah, that is the plan of attack going into the next sort of 3-4 hours anyway. Get these rods freshened up, use the last of my maggots, get them straight back on the same spots, and hope that something happens. Like I say, just moving into dark, just into dark. So I'll give it till 6 o'clock, absolute latest, before I decide to call it a day. But yeah, I think it's got to be done based on the bites that I've had last night and in previous sessions. So let's see if it pays off. As you can see, light is starting to fade, and it was this time yesterday that I got that bite on the middle rod. So yeah, all 3 rods got freshened up a couple of hours or so ago now, and I have actually seen one show on the opposite, just off the opposite bank there, pretty much between my left hander and my right hander, sort of smack bang middle. And I did get a liner on my right middle rod earlier as well. So there may be 1 or 2 fish just mooching around. But yeah, we've got an hour to make it happen, to try and stick one of these big commons in the net before I've got to disappear. So it's yeah, we're into the final countdown. Barrow is pretty much loaded, 95%, all bar those 3 rods down there. So if you've watched the video, thank you for watching. As always, appreciate your support. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, like my video if you enjoyed watching it, and more importantly, stick a comment down below if you want to know anything about Woodside, etc, etc. And as always, come and get in touch on any of my social media. It's always good to hear from you all. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I will catch up with you next time I am out on the bank.